Pittsburgh Tonight.
Pittsburgh Tonight.
Hey, Pittsburgh.
Hey Pittsburgh, do you guys want to win 2 free tickets to the Pittsburgh Power game? At me your answer on Twitter or Instagram at PGH_tonight. The question is, which Pittsburgh Power team member won Playmaker of the Week in Week 6? Tonight. I'm your host, Arriana Bey, and tonight I'm here with Pittsburgh poet Jas Jones. So, Jas, you want to give us some information on yourself before we get into our interview?
Well, Jas Jones, the name comes from me. That's pretty much my government name. 26, criminal justice major, sociology major, minor in psych. Started on poetry about a year ago. Might have did about 5 or 6 pieces, completed maybe 2 or 3, so it's kind of new for me, but I was happy to have the opportunity to be a part of something like this. So.
Okay, so how did you get involved in the poetry slam that's coming up that you're going to be a part of?
Actually, FU had me do a poetry slam with him in January. Asked me to do that. It was a really nice turnout. He told me he was doing this in May 30th, maybe last month, so I started getting myself ready for it.
So do you have poems that you prepare for specific events, or do you just have poetry that you just have, like, on hand for whenever it's time to perform?
It depends. Usually I just have poetry that I'm just working on. I don't really have anything that's geared towards any, like, specific event or anything like that, because I don't know too many people that know about my poetry, so I just have stuff on hand, so whenever I get opportunity, I'm ready.
Now, to you, what is the difference between, like poetry, spoken word, rap, all that kind of stuff?
I feel like it's in the same realm. It's just a different part of the brain, maybe. I started off doing music first. That's my first love. Kind of branched off into the poetry thing, personally writing some stuff down, then seeing a lot of spoken word, seeing how it affected me. Then I started trying to do it, and I don't know if there's really too much of a big difference, though. I know it's kind of all wrapped around the same basic thing, but.
Okay, do you usually have a theme with your poetry?
It's just how I feel. Usually I feel somebody is going through something I can relate to or something that I've been seeing, and this is how I'm feeling about it, usually stuff like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I know that you mentioned that you are in school.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, I was in school. I'm actually getting ready to go back to school in the fall.
Are you going back, there's anything that's poetry related, or?
No, it's not the musical related. I'm trying to get my LPCs, a license to practice counseling, so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that poetry helps in any aspect with that?
Definitely. With the counseling thing, you got to do a lot of self-talk, a lot of self-reflection and stuff like that. You may be able to understand something, and to help someone else understand it, poetry might be an outlet to be able to help someone else see what you're seeing, going through what you're going through, and understand it. So I think they help each other out in a certain way, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think that poetry is something that you can teach?
That's a good question.
Because personally, I don't have any experience on poetry, but I like the idea of poetry. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, is that something that someone could just pick up on, or do you think it's something that you're born with, she's a poet?
I think it's something that you might be inspired to do, because poetry is whatever you make it be. It could be 2 words, and you could walk off the stage, and that could be your poem because it means something to you. It might not mean anything to anyone else, or you could be touching somebody else in that same way. So it's all about what you think about it. So if you think you want to do some poetry, and you sit down and write down, and this is how you feel, after you're done with it, if you feel confident, comfortable with it, it's cool.
Do you ever get uncomfortable in front of a crowd? Yeah. I know that we're expecting a big turnout for the poetry slam that you're about to do, so
yeah,
how do you
stage
prepare?
fright. I got a little bit of stage fright, just practicing it. I've actually written a poem last year and got in front of a big crowd of people and froze up, forgotten the whole thing. But they're really supportive out there, so they kind of was like, come on, and then I ended up getting it. Did you do it? Yeah, I ended up finishing the whole thing and getting done with it. And I still placed in a little competition, so it was cool, but I do struggle with stage fear and stage fright, so I'm working on it, though.
So do you already have what you're doing for the poetry slam ready right now?
No, it's not ready. No, it's not ready. It's halfway done. I had so much time to get ready to do it that I kind of procrastinated. I'm a big procrastinator.
We do that.
So whenever he told me, okay, rehearsals in a week, I started really getting serious and sitting down and writing some stuff. And instead of just letting it just come to me, which I usually will do, but I've been kind of disciplining myself, sitting down, practicing, writing, practicing. So
good.
It's almost done.
Can you share your theme with us for the poem that you're going to
Yeah, the theme is, it's about a young boy. It's just growing up in the lifestyle pretty much. His mom trying to direct him in a different path, but he's taking his own right now. So that's pretty much the concept of the poem. So.
Okay, so is your poetry kind of like a storytelling type thing?
It can be. That's my best way to project out to other people about what I've seen or what I've experienced, is to kind of put it in a story. I got a short attention span, so if I just was up there just talking, I think some people might not kind of tune out, but if it's kind of flowing in a story sense, like, so people might.
We spoke about that earlier.
Definitely.
So what's your target poem time that you think the audience is engaged and satisfied and you don't lose them?
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay.
For one poem, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Anything over that, I think it has to be a different crowd. Like, people that are really into the poetry thing, this is what they're here for. But, people that are just open to come and see some stuff, about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay. And as far as Pittsburgh as a city, how do you feel about poetry taking off here? Is this something you see yourself doing consistently in front of a crowd?
I didn't even know the poetry scene, if that's what it's called, the poetry. I didn't even know it was like this. Like, so many young kids, so many people. Like, when I went to the thing for FU in January, it was crazy. I didn't even get a great turnout. It was crazy. So I think the scene in Pittsburgh is growing, it's flourishing, and people are embracing it, looking for it too. So good. I remember there used to be the Shadow Lounge at East Liberty. People used to go down there. That was like the centralized place where, now there's is it still open?
I know that they moved locations.
They
I don't
moved
know where
locations.
It's at
Okay,
now,
see, I thought it was close.
It's like the Ava Lounge now.
Okay, see, I wasn't sure. So I figured it was close, so everything was just word of mouth pretty much, so.
Okay. Well, can you give us a taste, like a little something? You don't got nothing memorized?
I thought I had something, but nah.
All right. Well, next time you're going to have to give us something when I ask.
Definitely.
So if you can let the viewers know where they can keep in touch with you or keep in touch with your poetry. Do you have like Instagram, Facebook, website, blog?
I have Instagram and a Twitter, Unnikely, UN_NIKELY. Or you could just follow me on Facebook, Jas Jones. That's my name, Jas though. You find me like that.
And then everybody be sure to follow Pittsburgh Tonight, PGH_Tonight. And stay tuned, we got another interview coming up next. Arriana Bey. And up next, we have an interview with Fred FU. He is the founder of the Heal a Heart to Touch a Soul Poetry Slam coming up at the end of this month. So FU, before we get into the interview, if you want to give a brief background on yourself.
I'm just Fred FU, straight from Pittsburgh, born and raised for the most part. That's pretty much it. College student, alpha student, regular student.
Okay, how did you get into coordinating a poetry slam?
At college, I was the public relations for the Black Student Union Association. I'm also the president of Alpha there. We had an open mic, and then somebody was like, well, we should just do a poetry slam. And I was like, all right. So I did a poetry slam at Edinburgh, brought it to Pittsburgh in January for a young lady. She had to get surgery, so all the money raised went to her. And the turnout was crazy. Like, the capacity was about 200. We was bringing chairs in from other rooms. There was people standing in the back. And some gentleman came and was like, I'll get you the money if you do it at a different building. And I was like, all right. And we went to a different building, and then he disappeared. So now it's at the Kelly Strayhorn coming up in May.
Okay. So were you surprised at you said that, you guys weren't prepared for that kind of capacity. So
Definitely.
Were you like in shock at the outcome of it?
I was beyond shock, actually. I just thought a few people was gonna come just to hear it, a couple supporters of the other poets, but it was a little bit of everyone. Those people come from out of Pittsburgh. We got poets from Philly, Virginia. There's a poet from Ohio, Erie. It's a little bit of everybody. It's just starting to, I guess Pittsburgh just taking over a new leaf, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, good. So you're also new to the poetry scene then here in Pittsburgh, so.
For the most part.
What have you been doing to try to don't know, promote it to the right people and get the word out to the right poets so that everyone's aware of what's going on, whether they want to join or just attend?
I pretty much put my promotion for the person. A lot of guys, I tell them to bring a young lady. It's not often that you go on a date to a poetry slam. A lot of girls, I tell them to bring their friends, 'cause I know a lot of my friends are going to be there, and I know that they're single, and they could probably date one day. A lot of the older crowd, I just tell them to come, because a lot of older people know about poetry. That poetry was big back in the day, so trying to reach out to a little bit of everyone differently.
Okay, and then you're also performing at the Poetry Slam?
I am. I'm actually the first poet. I'm going to start the night.
Are you nervous?
Yes, definitely. I'm not really nervous for the crowd. I'm just nervous that people's not going to hear what I'm saying.
Okay, so this is a deep poem then?
Definitely.
And do you just write in your free time, or is this something that you started doing once you started hosting the events?
I've always been writing my whole life. I stopped for a while. Me and my dad went through this little stage, the father-son stage, and I stopped writing, I stopped singing, I stopped playing the piano, I stopped all this stuff that my dad felt as if was soft.
Okay, so you're a musician.
I'm just me, but yeah.
You are not into labels.
Not at all, I'm not.
All right, well, do you have a theme to the poetry that you do, or?
The poem I'm doing is called "The Reason Why I Write Will Change Your Life."
Okay.
Nice.
That says enough right
yeah,
there.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like that's the title. It's not just me though, there's a few of us. It's a lot of us.
Okay, I'm really excited about it. I know that it's definitely creating a lot of buzz in the Pittsburgh area. So after a successful event, which I'm sure it will be, is this something that you want to consistently do?
Definitely. I've been talking to my aunt. The Poetry Slam is actually for my aunt. It's a dedication to my aunt. She passed away December 26th of 2013. So my mother and my other aunt, her sister, they came with me with the idea. I was like, yeah, we can do it. And they was like, hey, if it takes off, we can do this annually.
Yeah.
And we can raise money annually. So the proceeds and all the profit is going to go to a fund for my aunt's kids.
Okay.
So that's how we're going to do it. So it's going to be an annual thing every year, every summer.
Okay, and I'm sure a lot of
Every
people are going to
summer.
come out and support something like that.
We got 19 poets signed up for next year already.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it should be like more than just an annual event then.
I'm thinking about it. I just got to find a big enough spot, and it will be good.
So do you have an opinion on what makes poetry different than rap and spoken word? Or storytelling, or what is poetry to you?
I feel like poetry is an expression of words. Like, it's more than just words. Some people can't express themselves. Like, when people talk about love to someone else, and they be like, why do you love me? And it's like, I just do. Like, when you can't really explain it, then you don't know what you're really going through. But I feel like poetry is it's how you express yourself. Not all poems rhyme. Not all poems are very long. Not all of them very short. There's so many different types of poems. It's just about how you feel about the words you said.
Okay. And what are you most proud of when it comes to thinking about you hosting these poetry events? Like, what, at the end of the event, what do you sit back and reflect on? What was the best part about it? The ones that you've done in the past, and then what are you anticipating for the one coming up?
The support. I say all the time, I'm the only boy out of my siblings. I got 5 sisters. And I tell them, like, I don't do anything for money. I don't do it to brag. They be like, man, but I did. I don't do anything. I do it for the support. So I definitely look forward to the support of the next event, whether it's a poetry slam, a cookout, a party, whether cause we're thinking about doing just a family day, whether it's just a family day.
Yeah.
Just the support is what I look forward to.
Well, that sounds good. And I definitely look forward to your poetry slam. I will be there. And I look forward to hearing, about more events. And I'm looking to see the poetry scene, flourish in Pittsburgh, because it's definitely something that I'm interested in hearing. Maybe not actually doing poetry, but I think that that's definitely something that Pittsburgh needs right now. We have Fred FU here giving us a little taste of what he's going to be doing at the up-and-coming Poetry Slam. So, FU, if you want to get into your poem.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Every time I look at a female, I just say sorry, and I learned growing up, I can't say sorry without first explaining why. I express myself in many different ways, but I admit that I never lied. Not the only one on the river, but alone on this raft that toward the tide, and I say lines like this to be the fox of the door, the explorer, key holder to your mind. I'm sorry that you had to take my ride, that you had to take my lines. You shape-shifted them and created lies. I'm sorry that a friend became an enemy. I was the Stevie Wonder to our relationship, not realizing how deep you was into me. I became a splinter in the runner's foot, showing you that the little things could change everything. I hurt you by being me, but being me's no, it's all not to be. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh. I like that.
Snacks.
I miss poetry. I feel like I haven't heard it, and I don't know when the last time I heard it.
Then come on the 30th, and then we do next events. Come then, sign up.
Good stuff. Maybe I should become a poet.
I mean, it's easy. Just
It's like
do
I'm just
it.
fun. Maybe just keep
do it.
listening to you.
Or just do it.
Well, that was really good.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope that you guys make it out to FU's event and stay tuned for upcoming events. FU, before I forget, do you have a way that people can stay in touch with you and look out for your upcoming events? Do you want to give us your Twitter, Instagram, blog, Facebook?
Sure. I have Twitter, Instagram, blog, and Facebook. Every social site is I'm Just FU. On Instagram, there's an underscore at the end. Facebook is Fred quotes FU, and then end quote, of course, and then Underwood. But if you find I'm Just FU, everything else will pop up.
Okay, I'm Just FU. Okay, Pittsburgh, so stay in touch with FU and stay on the lookout for upcoming poetry events. Also, stay tuned because I have some Pittsburgh Tonight and Pittsburgh Power interviews coming up next. I'm your host, Arriana Bey, and you're watching Pittsburgh Tonight. Pittsburgh Tonight actually had the opportunity to take a look at the Pittsburgh Power football team and go on a tour at the Consol Energy Center. We also had the chance to interview the defense head coach. So take a look at this. I'm Arriana Bey with Pittsburgh Tonight, and we're here at the Consol Energy Center, and here I have the Pittsburgh Power coach, Leroy Thompson. Leroy, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. So if you want to let us know how you feel about Pittsburgh and what your experience has been like thus far with the Pittsburgh Power?
It's been fun. I just moved here in February. We started training camp, got things going. Haven't really had a lot of time to get out and enjoy the city, been able to do a couple things, but I like it here because it's a football town, obviously with the Steelers. It's a sports town with the Penguins and the Pirates, and we get a good crowd here, so I'm excited about being here.
Okay. And we're definitely excited to have you. What are some of the things that you didn't get a chance to do that you have heard about around the city that, you got to make sure you stop through and do, whether it be, nightlife or the arts, anything like that, any sports events?
Well, I definitely want to check out, I heard some nice museums here. Definitely want to do that. Now that the weather is warm, I'd like to get to a Pirates game. Things like that. Maybe get down to, I heard Mount Washington is pretty nice, so I've never been there yet. So there's a few things I got on my checklist I want to get done.
All right. I hope you get a chance to do all of them. Those are all great things that you just mentioned. So tonight you have a game, and the game is going against Philadelphia, team that you previously coached. So what are your feelings on the game tonight?
They're mixed. In 2012, I coached for the Philadelphia Soul. We went all the way to the Arena Bowl championship game. We lost. But in that season, I got a chance to, get to know the players, get to know the coaching staff, and obviously the organization and all that. We became really tight. And so it's going to be mixed feelings, but obviously, I'm going to be coaching my guys hard enough to make sure we win tonight. But there's a huge rivalry between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, so it's going to be a great game.
Okay. And where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Camden, New Jersey, which is right across the bridge from Philadelphia. So I'm from that area also. So, a lot of my friends are back home. They're going to be watching this game online, ESPN3. And, they'll be cheering for me, but they'll probably be cheering for the Soul, too. So.
Okay, and then you said that you made it to the championship with Philly. So where do you see Pittsburgh taking you in the future?
We're on our way. We hit a couple rough spots the past couple games, but, we straightened some things out, and this is going to be a good test for us. Philadelphia is a divisional game, so it's even bigger for us, but we straightened some things out, got a couple new guys in, so we're looking forward to winning tonight.
And I'm looking forward to watching tonight. Arriana Bey with Pittsburgh Tonight, and we are here speaking with the coach of Pittsburgh Power. Leroy, we wanted to ask you about your previous experience as an athlete and how you adapt that into being a coach.
Played a lot of football. Started at the age of 9. Played in high school. Played at Delaware State. Did 4 years at Delaware State. After Delaware State, I bounced around a couple of different leagues. Played in the Canadian Football League. Played in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. And then after that, I went to the Arena Football League, and I actually made a life in Arena Football. I played 13 years in Arena Football. So all my years and all my experience playing in this league, I figured I'd just go into coaching because I know so much about it, and I love the game. So here I am now, coaching for the Pittsburgh Power, and just trying to help these guys win and try to help my players get better.
Do you have a favorite player, or is there a star player that we should look out for during all the games that we should expect great things from?
We got a few. We got a few talented guys. Tommy Grady, our quarterback, he's definitely one of the good ones. A couple of our receivers are good. We got one defensive back, Virgil Gray, who's an all-arena guy. He won 2 Arena Bowls with Arizona before he came here. So those 2 guys are probably our main guys, but we got a team full of good players. Here's the thing. If you want live action, if you love football, if you want in-your-face, touchdown scoring, a lot of fast-paced scoring and all that, guys going over the board, being able to catch footballs in the stands, if you're enjoying that type of stuff, then you need to be down here at the Concert Center for a Pittsburgh Power game.
Thank you for tuning in to Pittsburgh Tonight. I'm your host, Arriana Bey. DJ Drama here in Pittsburgh. Drama?
What's up?
You want to give us a little bit about yourself? Let us know what you're doing here tonight in Pittsburgh.
I have an event I'm doing here, club event, so I frequent Pittsburgh a lot.
Yeah, so you like Pittsburgh obviously, right?
Yeah, I do. I like Pittsburgh. I'm from PA, I'm from Philly, so Pittsburgh has been good to me over the years.
Yeah, I know that people from Philly really love Philly, and I know that they kind of always got something to say about Pittsburgh. So does your Philly family?
Well, to be honest, all the years that I grew up in Philly, I had never been to Pittsburgh until I moved to Atlanta and then started coming here. So, but I don't have any gripes with Pittsburgh.
Good to hear.
I mean, it's not as fly as Philly is, but
well, right, that's what somebody from Philly would say.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good second best.
All right. So what are some of your favorite cities to DJ in besides Pittsburgh, obviously?
I love DJing in LA. I love Vegas, Toronto. I love going overseas. Australia is one of my favorites. South Africa.
What's the energy like over there? Is it different from over here in the States?
Yeah, it's different, but they enjoy what I bring to the table. So, everywhere is a good time.
Okay. And then how did you get into this? I know that you work with a bunch of different artists and you've been doing this for a while. Was this something that you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I went to my origins is I went to go see the movie Juice when I was young, and at the Omar Epps' character in the movie DJ GQ, and I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. And I've been trying to be a DJ ever since. And when I was in high school, like my goal was just to get my name on a flyer. I was like, all right, if I get my name on a flyer, I can say I did something, that I made it. And then, everything after that's been kind of extra. And I moved to Atlanta to go to college, and I met some of my business partners, DJ Sense and Don Cannon, who was doing all the college parties, and I would make my mixtapes, and I just kind of came up. I never really had a plan B, and I love music, I love the culture. I consider myself, and early on, I considered myself somewhat of a businessman. So, I knew that I with my gifts and, with my hustler ability, that I could turn this into something.
All right, and then you mentioned the movie Juice. I recently just watched that not that long ago. I loved it.
First time?
Yeah, it was my first time seeing it.
Okay.
I loved it, but I feel like it was so different back then. How it was for him to break into the DJ scene. Now, obviously nowadays it's easier. Everything's at our fingertips.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it's kind of watering down the DJ game, or?
Well, it's definitely easier to be a DJ now with technology and computers and things of that nature. But the talent is talent and the gift is a gift. So, just as the world moves at a faster pace, so in a way, it's even harder, you know, than it was before. I mean, I'm glad I came up when I came up because, you know, I came up in the era of you really had to prove yourself. But I don't take anything away from anybody. You know, it's not someone else's fault that they may have been born later in life, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying. So I mean, you know, I'm one to show love more than I would be like, you know, it's not like it used to be. Like that's for the old folks. You know, I don't get into all that. Like I've been able to be a part of so many different generations of hip hop, and I think sometimes what happens with quote unquote the elders, I don't consider myself one, but they, you know, they never embrace the new generation, and you got to embrace the new generation, like, you know what I'm saying, because especially with hip hop, I mean, hip hop was, a lot of it is based upon kids and, you know, what's fresh and what's hot, you know what I'm saying?
I know you got a birthday coming up, right?
I do, yeah.
What are you doing for your birthday?
I actually, I got a big West Coast run. I have an event in LA, an event in Vegas, in Phoenix, and then I'm gonna end out my birthday. Me and Young Thug have a party at it's a club called Emerson in LA.
Okay, fun.
Yeah.
How old are you turning?
Old enough to party.
Okay, good answer. So, what can we look forward to tonight? Who are some of your favorite artists to spin? You know, well, not spin, but old, young,
everybody.
new?
You know, I'm gonna feel the vibe out. You know, me myself, I'm kind of excited just that it's gonna be hookahs in the building, so I can, you know, relax and smoke a hookah. But we just gonna rock, man. Every time I come to Pittsburgh, it's always a good time.
Good time. Well, I look forward to it. Look forward to hearing you tonight. And thank you so much for the interview.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, John.
Love. Congrats.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight, Pittsburgh. Thank you for tuning in to Pittsburgh Tonight. I'm your host, Arriana Bey, and I will see you next time.
Pittsburgh Tonight.
Pittsburgh Tonight.
Hey, Pittsburgh.